Who's actually going to get the most out of an 83-inch 4K OLED evo TV? And who should walk away before they spend a fortune on a screen that might never fit their living room? If you've been scrolling through endless specs and wondering whether the price tag is justified for everyday watching, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through the real-world experience of the LG C6H series bundle, talk about the moments where it shines, the situations where it feels a bit overkill, and help you decide if it's the right fit for you. Let's start with the biggest hesitation most people have: size and placement. An 83-inch panel is massive, and that means you need a wall that can handle the weight and a room where you can sit back at the sweet spot, roughly 3 to 4 feet away from the screen, for a true 4K experience. If you live in a small apartment or have a couch that's only a couple of feet from the TV, the immersion can quickly turn into eye strain. On the flip side, anyone with a dedicated home theater space, a large sectional, or a media room will find the sheer scale transforms movies and games into something that feels almost cinematic. The OLED evo technology is the headline here, and it actually delivers on the promise of deeper blacks and brighter highlights compared to older OLED panels. In my own testing, the self-lit pixels meant that dark scenes in Blade Runner 2049 held detail you'd normally lose on an LCD, while a bright HDR sport broadcast still looked punchy without blooming. The over 8 million pixel count isn't just a marketing number, it translates to a level of granularity that makes the texture on a car's paintwork or the fibers in a fabric surprisingly lifelike. For cinephiles who love to chase the perfect picture, that's a genuine advantage. Now, the Alpha AI processor is another piece that many reviewers gloss over, but it really matters when you're juggling a mix of content. The processor analyzes each frame, upscales 1080p material, and balances color accuracy on the fly. In practice, the difference shows up when you throw on a classic series like Friends alongside a 4K Netflix original. The older footage looks cleaner and less washed out, while the new shows retain that vivid pop without looking artificial. The AI also handles sound by adjusting dialogue volume based on ambient noise, a subtle feature that keeps you from constantly reaching for the remote during a family movie night. Gaming is where the C6H really flexes its muscles. With a 144Hz refresh rate, HDMI 2.1 support, and NVIDIA GSYNC compatibility, the TV can keep up with the latest consoles and high-end PCs. I ran Elden Ring at 120 frames per second, and the motion remained buttery smooth, with no input lag that you'd notice in a fast-paced shooter. The low input lag mode is automatically enabled when the console signals it, so you don't need to dive into menus to get the best performance. For anyone who considers their living room a secondary gaming hub, this TV removes the excuse of the TV isn't fast enough and lets you play competitively without a separate monitor. On the smart side, webOS feels snappy enough for daily use. The interface launches in under 2 seconds, and the built-in voice assistant can pull up a show on Disney Plus or change the volume without you touching the remote. The downside is that the platform still relies on a handful of pre-installed apps, so if you're a user who prefers third-party launchers or needs niche streaming services, you might find the ecosystem a little restrictive. It's not a deal-breaker for most, but it's worth noting if you're the type that hacks your smart TV. Let's talk about practical strengths. First, the picture quality. As I mentioned, the combination of OLED evo and AI upscaling makes both HDR movies and SDR TV shows look impressive. Second, the gaming readiness. The high refresh rate and HDMI 2.1 mean future-proofing for the next generation of consoles. Third, the bundled nature of the deal. You get the TV, a wall mount, and a soundbar that's calibrated for Dolby Atmos right out of the box. That saves you the hassle of sourcing separate components and ensures the audio matches the visual fidelity. But there are trade-offs that could make you think twice. The price point for an 83-inch OLED is steep, and while the bundle includes a soundbar, the built-in speakers are still modest. You'll feel the difference between the soundbar and a full surround system. If you're planning on a serious home theater setup with multiple speakers, you'll need to invest extra. Also, OLED panels, while offering phenomenal contrast, can be vulnerable to burn-in if you leave static elements like news tickers or channel logos on for hours every day. LG includes a pixel refresher feature, but it's something to be aware of if you watch a lot of news or sports with persistent graphics. Who should buy this? If you already have a spacious room, enjoy high-end movies, play next-gen games, and want a TV